Life can be chaotic. If you're running a retail business, don't let disorganized order fulfillment add to the chaos. Use ShipStation instead. With ShipStation, you never have to worry about shipping and fulfillment again. Whether you're running a business out of your garage or you have multiple warehouses, ShipStation is ideal for every phase of your business's growth. Save time with one login for all your stores and by automating repetitive tasks. Plus, you'll save money with the best shipping rates from global carriers. ShipStation's industry-leading features help you deliver a better customer experience. They'll get accurate and faster shipments along with automated tracking updates with your branding. And with up to 88% off UPS and USPS rates and up to 90% off FedEx rates, ShipStation is the fastest and most affordable way to ship. Calm the chaos. Switch to ShipStation today. Start a free trial at shipstation.com/audio. That's shipstation.com/audio.
Unplug your cleaning routine with the Ryobi 18-volt ONE+ cordless cleaning lineup. Our powerful and versatile tools make cleaning a breeze. One battery powers over 300 products, giving you the power to do more. Visit ryobitools.com to learn more, exclusively at the Home Depot.
This is VSiN By The Books on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
We begin hour number 3. This VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross here, downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, here at Circus Sports. Our closer, Jensen Lewis, back home in Cleveland, Ohio. What a conversation with John Condit in the last segment. Fascinating. We'll have much more tentacles on that. Pete Rose, will he get into the Hall of Fame? Will he be pardoned by the President of the United States? And there are so many layers to this new documentary that's out. We're really fortunate to have John in studio. But, Jensen, we are always fortunate when we catch up with our guy, Lou Finocchiaro, each and every week here. Does a great job breaking down the fight game. Give him a follow on X at Gamblou. He's the host of the Bout Business podcast and also a big college baseball guy and a hockey guy. What is it, Lou, that you don't do? Yeah, you do everything, my friend.
No, I don't. I shoot at 4 targets. The UFC runs in a calendar year, hockey playoffs, College World Series, and the NFL. I mean, I'm critical. You show me a guy that's handicapping every sport, and I'll show you a guy that's not specializing. Listen, if your wife gets in a car wreck and she breaks her leg, you don't take her to an ear, nose, and throat. You take her to an orthopedic. Every business is specialized, and so too must ours be.
Oh, I absolutely love it, Lou. And we'll get to certainly this card here. And it's a fascinating card. Look, these are fighters that you and I have talked about for years here in the network. Corey Sandhagen, obviously, has always been that tip of the spear guy, but maybe never over the hump. Davison Figueiredo was a champion down at 25, now fighting obviously at 35. So we already know his pedigree. I will say, and Jensen and I have talked a lot about it, just kind of perusing as the numbers have gone during the week here, Lou. I'm not surprised that Corey is this big a favorite at minus 550, but there is danger in Davison's right hand, certainly. Do we look at this and go, Corey needs to get a finish in order to get a title shot? Like, is it incumbent upon Corey looking spectacular to get his name out? And maybe does that mean he takes chances that he normally doesn't take?
Well, first of all, guys, thanks for having me on. I love the UFC time. And I think to an extent, the way the UFC is going is that every fighter has some cloud of pressure to try and perform in spectacular fashion to catapult themselves into bigger fights quickly. That's how it works. So does Corey feel as though an impressive finish would work in his favor? I think it does. And I think when you broke down the fight with Figueiredo, I think it's his power that is going to get him there. Sandhagen's the legit 135er, and he has height and reach advantages as well. I don't know that there's an area of mixed martial arts where Figueiredo's game exceeds Sandhagen's game. And so from 235, Sandhagen open to where we're seeing this price now, I think a reflection of the new blood in the marketplace, because there's nothing to bet on right now. They see Sandhagen flow early Monday, Tuesday, he's 330, and boom, by the end of the week, he's this. How do we attack it? I don't know how you attack a side because I can't take Divas as much as I respect him. But I do think that you're on the right track. To me, Fight Does Not Go the Distance is a relatively intriguing opportunity. The issue with that is that it's not available in Las Vegas, but to all the other people out there listening, Fight Does Not Go the Distance is plus 150.
I will lock that in. I can tell you that, Lou, before I jump on the plane to head down to Miami for some college baseball this weekend. Also, hey, this middleweight fight too, RDR and Bo Nickel. Again, you got a lot of experience here for RDR, and we would assume that with the wrestling there, heavy favorite, for Bo Nickel and the way that his style is. I'm a method of victory guy. I do like to look at those markets, but just overall, yet again, another heavy favorite here for Bo. Where would you handicap the fight, and perhaps maybe some prop ways to attack it as well?
Yeah, this is a fabulous fight, and I'm not sure if I'm the right guy to ask how to break it down, because I'm fascinated to see if Nickel attempts to keep it standing where he has, I'd say, nominal to improving striking. However, it's exponentially better than the striking of De Ridder. And the easiest path for Nickel is to keep it standing. That said, De Ridder's coming after him like a blitzing linebacker in the Super Bowl, and he has no intention of giving him any space at all. He wants to take this where he's at his strength. And I think I've always been taught the world-class wrestler has advantage over everything. And with a striking advantage, I do like Nickel here. I liked him at open better. He's now 340. I think the way that I would go here is, as boring as it sounds, is decision. I don't know how either man gets the other out unless De Ridder gets knocked out by Nickel. So fight goes to decision. Yes, plus 140. So that's a plus number on a fight where I got to tell you, I really am hoping that we see him somersaulting all over the canvas, but I don't know if I'm going to get what I want.
Well, Lou, sometimes we think the exact same way. I just want the fight to get to the ground. That's all I want, right? We all want to see the jiu-jitsu guy against the wrestler. That's why it's mixed martial arts. But you're right. Bo's got the advantage with the hands. Over 2.5, by the way, is minus $1.05, unless you want to get that sweet plus price that the fight does go the distance. But if the fight does go down to the ground, is it RDR just looking for submissions, Lou? Is that what we're going to see? And Bo trying to control wrestle and maybe, ground and pound and posture up on RDR, and then you could get a finish that way if you're looking at the Bo side, that it's going to come with hammer fist. Because I got to think if this fight goes down to the ground, we get that great game of mental chess.
We do, but I don't think that Bo can allow that, because the wrestler is the aggressor. That means Bo's initiating. That means his head is there and there's a neck on his head. And if there's a neck, De Ridder's going to find it if that's how you're attacking him. So I don't see Nickel doing that at all unless De Ridder gets Nickel down. And then I think Nickel practices getting straight up against the fence and getting back on his feet. I really think there comes a time in mixed martial arts where you have to be a mixed martial artist. Mm-hmm. And I think Nickel has good people around him. He's won at championship levels everywhere he's been since he's been in diapers. I just see him continuing it. And part of it is because a lot of these world-class wrestlers, oh, by the way, they were wrestling in college. They're college educated. So sometimes they have a little IQ.
Lou, the rest of this main card, a little mix of some shorter favorites and also some heavy ones. Give us some leans or perhaps some plays that you like here to round out the rest of this main card.
Thanks for keeping that open for me, Jensen, because I want to go right to Jeremy Stephens and Mason Jones. Jeremy Stephens is a slugger. He has been his whole life. He's 39 now, and he's coming off 3 fights, bare-knuckle boxing. But he's from Des Moines, and he's a UFC vet. He wanted to be on the card. His recent form, I guess, allows an entertainment company to use him in Des Moines to pack seats and create a buzz for Mason Jones, who's a Welsh brawler. But Mason Jones has developed wrestling that he never uses in fights because he stands toe-to-toe and wings. Now, he's taken time off to develop his game and hopefully his IQ. And if he's developed his IQ, the first thing he does is takes the RDR, the Ritter approach, tackles Stevens. Stevens can't even spell wrestling, has no takedown defense. If Jones gets on top, he can ground him early in this fight and overwhelm him. If Jones has an ounce of pride and stands toe-to-toe with Stevens, he plays Stevens' game, and that's a dangerous game. Stevens will throw haymakers in front of his friends in Iowa to try and get Jones out, and Stevens still has power. So that's one I don't think you want to miss. And I would go in that fight that the fight doesn't – somebody's going to get finished, I think, in that fight.
Under 2.5. Yep, at minus $1.20, I'm right there with you. That feels like the right way to play that Little Heathen against Mason Jones fight. What's the next one you like in the main card?
Yeah, I mean, you want to take Mason Jones inside the distance. He's even, and Stevens is plus 400. So you could bet each of those and know that you've got no loss. I mean, the only way you lose is if it goes to decision. But Stevens wins, you break even. And if, Stevens wins, it's a windfall. Jones wins, you come out even. So the other fight I'd like to mention, Montel Jackson, Daniel Marcos. Montel Jackson's a bad hombre. He beat Damon Blackshear, who we saw last week look very, very impressive. And that's because he is impressive. And he gets an undefeated Peruvian Daniel Marcos here that's going to come forward, try and strike. The issue is that Marcos steps up in class. He also steps up in height and reach against Jackson, who really has it all. This guy Jackson's put together. I'd look for Jackson in this fight and probably just straight in a parlay piece. Again, I tend to be safe. I want to cash a ticket.
Yep.
And if I tell you knockout, he decisions him. And if I tell you decision, he's going to finish him. So I'm just going to take Jackson.
Very quickly, I got to ask you, because Miesha Tate's back on this card, former champion, obviously, beloved. Cupcake is back in there against Yana Santos, formerly Yana Kunitskaya. She is the favorite. Can we back Miesha Tate in 2025 as a favorite against anybody at $1.35?
She's mean. She's pedigreed. And she's motivated. And yes, I've already backed her. I think she rubs Santos all over the canvas here. This is a different class of fighter. I don't care how old Miesha is. Santos won't have anything for her, in my opinion.
Lou, I was out here for UFC 196 the night that Miesha won the belt by submitting Holly Holm. And here we are almost a decade later still talking about Miesha Tate on a fight card. Cannot wait to watch that. Lou, tell the people very quickly, the About Business podcast, what do they get?
Final releases for each fight card on Friday. It'll be after the weigh-ins today. I want to say thanks again for having me on, and enjoy the fights, everybody.
He's the best. Give him a follow at GamWoo. As simple as that. When we come back, we're talking golf, people. Go back to your shanties. That's next.
When a shopper places an order, you have one shot at winning them as a lifelong customer. I'm Al Coe, CEO of ShipStation. I'm obsessed with ShipStation being the most reliable and efficient way you can ship. At ShipStation, our promise is to make shipping easier for e-commerce business owners. We're focused on providing the most integrations with all the places you sell and automating manual tasks to make fulfillment easier for your team. We partner with all the major carriers to make sure you get the lowest possible rates, because every dollar counts. So no matter what you're sending or where you're shipping to, ShipStation can get it there fast and keep your customers happy. See for yourself how ShipStation can reduce the time and effort you spend on order fulfillment. Go to ShipStation.com to sign up for your free trial. That's ShipStation.com.
Unplug your cleaning routine with the Ryobi 18 Volt 1 Plus cordless cleaning lineup. From tackling bathroom tile with the soap dispensing telescoping power scrubber, to cleaning wet and dry messes with the 2-in-1 Wet Dry Swift Clean Stick Vacuum, to cleaning up pet hair and debris with our advanced stick vacuum, Ryobi has a solution for every cleaning task. And because one battery powers over 300 products, you have the power to do more. Visit RyobiTools.com to learn more. Sold exclusively at the Home Depot.
Tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
We are We are back. VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross here and Jensen Lewis. Great conversation with Lou Finocchiaro in the last segment, talking all things UFC. Boy, it's going to be a really intriguing card again in the Midwest. And again, that's why you got people like the Little Heathen, Jeremy Stevens back in that card, Misha Tate. Cannot wait for that Saturday night. We're going to have Jonathan Davis join us in the next segment to talk some puck. And we might be able to start with JD about the hiring of Mike Sullivan.
Oh,
how about that? Didn't we just talk about this? That Mike Sullivan, there, like you could do worse than Mike Sullivan out there. Didn't last long there on the free agent market. Not only is he let go by Pittsburgh, but then you get picked up by one of your rivals in Madison Square Garden for the blue shirts. If you're a Rangers backer, Jensen, like my nephew Josh, he's got to be thrilled today that you got Mike Sullivan running things.
Well, just pedigree, right? Obviously, it did not go the way that he had hoped the last handful of seasons there in Pittsburgh. But ultimately, you get a guy that well respected with that track record. I think we knew it wasn't like he was going to take a year off. It was going to be a matter of time of what situation was the most advantageous, and I don't even know if the most lucrative, but the one that set up best for him. And boy, that did not last long in that courtship. So, wow, very interesting moves here. I'm sure JD, Jonathan Davis, will have a take on it as well.
Very quickly, you and I have talked about this a lot with, say, a guy like Tito Francona, right? That where maybe even Tito said after he left Cleveland that he was not giving his best effort and knew he could do more, took the year away, and then goes to the Reds and he's back in baseball. Mike didn't do that. He didn't take that time. I mean, literally a couple days, and he moves on from Pittsburgh to New York. Does that message really, does it get stale? It doesn't matter how great a manager, how great a head coach you might be in the NFL or beyond, that sometimes it really just is a new place, a new voice with new players that makes all the difference?
I mean, I can only relate from a playing standpoint. Like 7 years with Cleveland, and when I went to free agency, Arizona was a spot. I was already living in Scottsdale, so just from the setup alone, it was really advantageous for me. I'd drive 8 minutes down the street to Salt River Fields, and that's my spring training home. And then, you take a 20-minute ride to the ballpark in downtown Phoenix. So I think that to me was very attractive. I was switching leagues too. I was going from the American League to the National League. And so I would have the opportunity to hit. But Kirk Gibson, we don't let pitchers hit on our team. We don't. We'll let you bunt, but you ain't swinging a bat. So, there are certain change of scenery spots that make all the difference in the world. But you also have guys that, I mean, this is what they do. They don't know how to, build bridges. They don't know how to change light bulbs. They know how to manage baseball. And they know how to play, and they know how to take care of guys that want to be the best. So I'm very excited to see what Mike Sullivan does for the Rangers this upcoming season.
By the way, again, we'll talk more about that with Jonathan Davis coming up in the next segment. We just had Lou Finocchiaro on. It was great talking with him and John Condit and also Thomas Gable earlier in the show. And we got a really nice tweet here from Jim_DeVitt. And he says to you and I, best segment ever. Hopefully someone picks up the documentary. Your insights are incredible. That, of course, in context with John Condit. And, again, it was great having John in studio. I cannot wait to see what this documentary, what it does become. But, Jensen, for people of a certain age that might have forgotten, how big of a story that was, and to think that John was sitting there talking to Pete back in the day in the 80s when Bart Giamatti, then the commissioner of Major League Baseball, and that the federal government was investigating you, Pete Rose, and John is in the room as Pete's getting that information. I mean, that stuff kind of makes your hair stand up on your arms a little bit of how historic that was. And for those, again, how big of a national, not a Cincinnati story, not a baseball story, but an American story of one of the most, cherished historic figures in all of sport in Pete Rose. I don't think we're understating how incredible it was to hear John's conversation with Pete that he shared with us before the documentary releases.
Just on the technology front alone, Dave, we live in a day and age now where you can go to a brick and mortar sports book. We have mobile betting, legal in a lot of different states. But you think about back then, you're on the phone. phones were tapped to try and
Wow.
make sure they could record. You remember in our day and age also of the digital footprints where text messages and email. People that doesn't go away. Like people will find it and it's there. Like you're giving evidence. Okay. These are phone calls where, it was for people that don't know the whole larger backstory. And you mentioned it with the U.S. government involved. I mean, there's other huge depths to this thing that just go way larger than Pete Rose. However, it is amazing to compare that day and age now, Dave, with the day and age we live in. We've talked a lot about NIL and how that's now affected how we look at, betting, win totals or teams or things of that nature. It's the same way now when you're looking at guys that have information and what they can do and how it affects day in and day out.
And why we do what we do here at VSiN each and every day that Brent Musburger had the foresight to start. It's an incredible transformation from then to where we are now. I'm glad we're here now. I wish Pete was still here, potentially getting that Hall of Fame. We'll find out if he ever gets in the Hall of Fame. And even Pete's own words said he didn't want to get in there posthumously. That's the only way, sadly, he would be able to go now. Very quickly, before we talk to Jonathan Davis in the next segment here, talking all things NHL, we did want to mention what's going on right now at the CJ Cup. We mentioned Scottie Scheffler yesterday. Remember, as we were going off the air yesterday, we saw the players starting to go low, and we had said, hey, if you want to, before Scottie Scheffler gets out there, you might want to look at his live number here for first round leader and or beyond. Let's just take a glimpse of our conversation yesterday and how it played out 24 hours ago. There are certain places, and I know Kelly knows about them, where you can go and live bet the first round leader. So let's say if Sammy can be that pace car for you and you got a ticket out there and we haven't even had Scottie Scheffler tee off yet, Jensen, not a bad way to go. If you can get one of your guys to get out there front, maybe cover some bases if you think Scottie is still going to be Scottie. So here's what we had yesterday. Rico Hoey goes out there. He was 70-1, first round leader. And Rico Hoey, if you've got that ticket, and I one of my boys back home did, and you're sitting on that Rico Hoey ticket. Now, I know it's not as sexy, Jensen, to then come back. You get Scottie before he teed off. I believe he ballooned to 12-1 to be first-round leader. Remember, he's starting with an 8-shot deficit to cash that ticket. What does Scottie do? 10 under par. We use bad beat in this business a lot. And some are and some aren't. But dude, can you let me cash it? Not me, but could you let me, Rico Hoey backers, cash a 70-1 ticket? No. Scottie wouldn't let you do that. He goes out, shoots 10 under par yesterday. He is the 2-shot leader going in. And oh, by the way, he was what? Plus $3, plus $2.80, depending on your book yesterday. Now you got to lay $2 on Scottie Scheffler to get his first win in 2025. I think what we were getting at yesterday is Scottie is the outlier. And that when he drifts potentially to double digits, Jensen, you're not always going to cash him. But it does feel like that auto bet comes in on a guy like Scottie Scheffler, whether it's first round leader or tournament winner.
This is why I brought up to you and shout out to our friend of the program, the cup maker, Jeff Seeley, where if you're a subscriber for him, he recommended the winner without market this week. And it does, encounter removing Scottie Scheffler as a potential there. So there are certain spots, and you got to pick them here. We've said it, you've said it ad nauseum, but it bears repeating. When Scottie is at a number that he was pre-flop in this tournament, you can't bet him.
No.
So you got to find other actionable ways to try and monetize some of these longer shots. And that was the way to do it. By the way, Wes gave out Steven Yeager, who's right there, 3 shots off the pace. But I do feel like that's, pretty remarkable considering where Scottie has been the last couple of tournaments. Just, I got it. No big deal. We're back.
It is fascinating, by the way, in the live betting market, because Scottie, oh my goodness, he started off with 3 straight pars, still has a 2-shot lead. He's back down to $1.40 betting favorite. Steven Yeager, as you mentioned, is the second betting choice with Rico Hoey. They're still at 18-1.
Wow. Wow. Oh, my God.
Insane markets.
Yeah, it is.
Michael Thorpe Bjornsson, by the way, is 28-1. Johnny Vegas, who's right now just 2 shots back, he's 30-1. But again, that's why we do what we do. And again, I wish I had taken our advice, Jensen, I didn't bet Scotty first round leader, but we give you that information to know that this is the only way you can manipulate some of these guys when you see Tiger Woods-like numbers. We're not advocating you to bet Aaron Judge at minus 650. Find different ways to play these guys. Scotty, that was the way to go yesterday. Hopefully you cash that 12-1. I believe Matt Brown did cash it. I hope Kelly put one in as well. Just saying. $199. What do you get for it? How about this? 14 months, 2 extra months free when you use a promo code PRO. So VSiN.com/subscribe. That's going to cover you for 14 months. Emailed your daily best bets from Bill 80 every single day. Exclusive betting splits, VSiN Watch app access, and the NFL betting guide. Oh, let's go, baby. You got to get it. $199, 2 extra months. Use the promo code PRO.
You're tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
We continue this edition, the Friday edition of VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross and Jensen Lewis here with you. Jensen back home in Cleveland. I'm here in Las Vegas. And we love going to California to catch up with our guy, Jonathan Davis. Give him a follow on X at West Coast Hockey. That's HKY. Joins us now here on the Progressive Guest Line. And Jonathan, I can't believe with all the conversations we've had, I've never asked you about the cup over your left shoulder.
Yeah.
What exactly is going on there? It's a replica Stanley Cup. Is that correct, sir?
Replica? Don't tell the Hall of Fame. I got the real one. No, I have a buddy of mine who, had to be about 20 years ago, was in the business where he had a license for the replica Stanley Cup. So it's the actual size of the cup, definitely not the same weight of the cup. And I've had some guys that have won the cup sign it for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Has anyone drank from that cup, though, more importantly?
No. I think until you win it, you can't drink from it. And so I'll never win it, so I can't drink from it.
That is fantastic, JD. Let's break down a little bit what we're going to have going on, what we've already seen. First of all, general overview. Now that we're set in the East, we're not quite there yet in the West. Any major first-round shockers for you, or did it go going the way you kind of thought it would?
Yeah, I think that pretty much everything has gone true to form. We had the potential for some upsets. LA, had the chance to finally exercise the demons and didn't. And the Minnesota Wild gave the Vegas Golden Knights everything they could until they couldn't anymore. So, for now, everything has gone true to form.
JD, I absolutely loved following you last night. The rocking chair winners, as we like to have here on By the Books, your third period over in the Leafs and the Sens game within what felt like just a minute of each other was phenomenal. Dave and I said we would be more shocked if we came in today with the Maple Leafs ending the series than Ottawa sending it back. But, hey, we have Toronto across. They say the playoffs start now for them. Do you agree with that with the Maple Leafs?
Well, I mean, for a team that has only got one first-round win in since I think I was 15 years old, it does. I mean, getting out of the first round has been a monumental task for Toronto. So they got through it, but their reward for getting through it is going to be the Florida Panthers. And if I remember correctly, the last time they got out of the first round, their reward was the Florida Panthers. So it didn't go very well in round two. I have to say that Florida, to me, I did think they wouldn't get by Tampa in round one, but what we're seeing from Florida, they continue to look like the team that won the Stanley Cup last year and was the finalist the year before.
And by the way, it's reflected in the betting markets here. Florida to get out of the East is plus $2. Toronto almost double, plus $3.50 right there, another $1.50. So still a sizable advantage here, you would think, at least for the book side, for Florida against Toronto in that second round matchup. What about with St. Louis now, as they are now the longest shot still here, down 3-2? They could force a Game 7 with a win tonight over Winnipeg. What's your play early? And I think you're going to look for some goals in that first period.
Yeah, the first period over in this series, shockingly to me, is 5-0. So there's no reason to buck the trend. I wouldn't have thought that with with Connor Hellebuck, and Jordan Bennington, that we would have goals early. But that's exactly what we've had. And, many times we've had goals early and then that's been it. But I will target that first period over. I'll target the Blues to score a goal in the first period.
Ooh.
Or actually, I'll target the Blues to score the first goal of the game. That's at about minus 140. And the Blues, if you want to get a little aggressive, you could play them to score a goal in the first period as well. I mean, the numbers in this market, guys, the team that loses the previous game has scored the first goal in the next game in 24 of the 35 games. They've scored only a first period goal. They only scored the first goal of the first period in 19, but they've also scored just a first period goal, not the first one, in 26 of the 35. So for me, I'll target the Blues both to score a first period goal, and I'll target them to score the first goal of the game.
JD, let me finish up on that game for you, because I have been the lucky one getting the puck lines across with under a second to go. I did get it again with Edmonton yesterday, so I'm feeling lucky. I do like your ideas here on empty net goals because of the pricing. I'm on the Blues and the puck line because I'm just a crazy person. But I love the handicap here because of what we've seen. How do you come about with those, and what's your criteria for wanting to jump in on those props?
All right, so first off, just to go to the puck line, guys, in general, 30 of the 44 games in the playoffs, the team that has won has covered the puck line. And it's even better if you're the dog. Like yesterday when I was on with Mitch and Paulie, I said, if you're going to play Toronto, play them on the reverse puck line. Because the dog, 12 of the 16 games the dog has won, they've covered the puck line. So I do like the puck line regardless of whether you're going to play the favorite or the dog. Empty net goals. When it comes to clinching games, we're seeing more and more empty net goals. 6 of the 8 clinching games so far, we've had an empty net goal. I'll target the third period over pre-flop at over 2 because you're going to get a good price. Now, it's 2 wins, a loss, and 5 pushes on over 2, but it's 7-1 to over 1.5. So I do like that third period over. So if you can get an in game at over 1.5, like I did in a couple of the games last night, I think that's also the way to target those 2 props.
JD, I think a lot of people, you see Colorado get that 7-4 win last night against Dallas. They're going to go back to Dallas for Game 7. Maybe they got all the mojo now going on with the Avs. We feel like they're at least the healthier of these 2 teams. But history, I would say, is that an indicator of what might happen in Game 7? Because the history is all on the Dallas side, right?
It is. Coach Pete DeBoer is Mr. Game 7. He's 8-0 when it comes to Game 7s. And the Colorado Avalanche on the opposite end, they're 0. They've lost their last 6 Game 7s.
Ooh.
So, yeah, if you're looking strictly based on that history, you have to go with Dallas. I mean, look, I've been super impressed with Dallas. The fact that they've been able to get through this series without their best defenseman, Miro Heiskanen, and one of their top 4s, their leading goal scorer, Jason Robertson, has been huge. But yeah, Colorado needs to exercise that their demon and try to get over the Pete DeBoer demon. I do like Dallas to score the first goal of the game. I mean, we've seen that in 4 of the 5 games. Dallas, the losing team, has scored a first period goal in this series in all 5. So there's another way you can target that. And I haven't found the numbers yet on empty net goals. So there's a couple, when you're playing the empty net goal, you can go the conservative way, like I'll do in the St. Louis, you can go the conservative way, you get plus money just for an empty net goal. And then you can get a little more aggressive and play the team you think is going to win to score the empty net goal. Because in that St. Louis game, I think the Blues are like plus 350 to score the empty net goal. Winnipeg is about plus 310. Now, here's another thing, guys, that I was talking with some friends last night about how you can also approach, playing the sides in any of the games. You could play the favorite to win on the puck line and the dog to win on the reverse puck line as well, because you're going to get plus money on both sides, and you have a better chance of guaranteeing yourself a win. One way another way you can think about approaching it.
Absolutely love it. JD, last one from me. We see the Oilers. You said it best. Anytime you have Connor McDavid and Evan Draisaitl on your squad, you have got as good a chance as any team to come back from any deficit. The Oilers do it. Boy, we got a behemoth of a matchup here in the second round. VGK, Edmonton, your early thoughts on that series?
Yeah, I mean, my early thoughts are Vegas. But the thing was most impressive to me, guys, in the last two victories for the Edmonton Oilers is that in Game 6 last night, Connor McDavid had 1 assist. Leon Draisaitl didn't have a point. In Game 5, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl both had 1 assist. They came on an empty net goal. Edmonton has never been able to have any success without those two guys scoring, and they did it in the last 2 games. The depth of their team has shone through. So it will present more issues for Vegas. I just think Vegas is the sounder team. But it is going to be one hell of a series.
Yeah, plus $1.20 right now on Vegas to win that series against Edmonton. Edmonton, JD's vaulted into the favorites role now to win the West after that comeback from 0-2 down and now moving on to the second round. Jonathan, enjoy the hockey this weekend as well. I'm sure they'll be talking old ponies out there in California too with the Derby.
A little bit.
Just a little bit, right?
Can they go on the ice?
Put the horses on the ice. Now you got a sport, Jonathan. I'm watching that. I'm betting that for sure. Jonathan, appreciate you, my friend. We'll catch up again soon. There he is,
all right,
everybody.
Guys, have a great rest of the morning.
Give him a follow on X. Fantastic follow at West Coast Hockey, HKY. Check out Sharp Plays if you haven't done so yet. SharpPlays.com. You're going to get unmatched transparency with records updated daily, AI betting analysis, real-time global information. You're going to get alerts directly from the pros. I'll get to you on X as well. So check it out, sharpplays.com. They are respected, watched, and feared.
Life can be chaotic. If you're running a retail business, don't let disorganized order fulfillment add to the chaos. Use ShipStation instead. With ShipStation, you never have to worry about shipping and fulfillment again. Whether you're running a business out of your garage or you have multiple warehouses, ShipStation is ideal for every phase of your business's growth. Save time with one login for all your stores and by automating repetitive tasks. Plus, you'll save money with the best shipping rates from global carriers. ShipStation's industry-leading features help you deliver a better customer experience. They'll get accurate and faster shipments along with automated tracking updates with your branding. And with up to 88% off UPS and USPS rates and up to 90% off FedEx rates, ShipStation is the fastest and most affordable way to ship. Calm the chaos. Switch to ShipStation today. Start a free trial at shipstation.com/audio. That's shipstation.com/audio.
Unplug your cleaning routine with the Ryobi 18-volt 1 Plus cordless cleaning lineup. From the soap-dispensing telescoping power scrubber to the advanced stick vacuum, Ryobi has a solution for every cleaning task. One battery powers over 300 products, giving you the power to do more. Exclusively at the Home Depot.
You're tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
We are back. VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross, Jensen Lewis. Great conversation with JD. Jonathan Davis says he's got to clean that cup, Jensen. Nobody's drank out of that replica Stanley Cup that he has. How cool is it, though, that he's actually had players sign that cup?
Oh, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, he is a man about town. I don't know. It's sneaky high level JD is. I don't know if people realize. Like,
I think what we got to do, we got to get VSiN By The Books at Hermosa Beach. Is that where he is in California?
Listen, there is absolutely no problem with us doing a remote broadcast from there. I think it would augment the show 100%.
I think so. I think he takes that cup down there, gets a couple drinks for free. I'd do the same thing. By the way, we appreciate everybody that watches and listens, whether it's on Sirius XM channel 158. You're a VSiN Pro subscriber. You're watching the show. There was a tweet that came to Kelly. Of course, Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidwin coming up next year on a numbers game because they were talking about the golf. So this tweet from Derek went to Kelly, and he said, I had to make that bet when whoever you had on said you can still grab Scotty in some markets. Sorry, Kelly. Still love you. LOL. It was me, Derek. So we had mentioned this yesterday, and Kelly's like, who's Derek talking about? Oh, it was the previous show on VSiN By The Books that we were talking about at the end of the show yesterday. We were rooting for Kelly's first-round leader ticket of Sammy Valimaki to get home. It didn't. But we said, hey, if you've got one of those guys like a Rico Hoey, one of those guys at a big number, you might want to play Scotty as a safeguard just in case. Guess what he did? Scotty, 12-1. It gets him a cool $650 on a $50 wager.
Nice.
And by the way, I hope Derek didn't take their you-know-what cash out, and he got the whole $650 and didn't settle for the 91.10, Jensen.
Oh, man. First of all, shout out to everyone listening. It's Mr. President to you and the Lewis Ross administration. No, that's great. And again, that's why we do it, right?
Right.
And especially at this point in the day, and we're lucky now because we get these tournaments, especially on the East Coast, that are teeing off, right in our second hour or first hour. So it helps us leading right up to it because we're first round leader people too. So I think it's phenomenal to understand, where things fall and what angles you can attack even in real time. So job well done. Nice 600 bones there for our gentlemen of leisure.
And again, you're right. We're kind of starved. Sometimes we get so excited when we get live betting on our show at our time of the day. So whenever some of these tournaments like this one going on at the CJ Cup down there in Texas, we do get excited. Scotty is already off today. And so far, he's playing if you watched any of the tournament yesterday, you realize the back nine is playing much harder than the front. So before you run to those second round leaders, Derek or anybody else out there listening, Scotty's on the tougher side right now on the back nine. So through 4 holes, he's even par. So he's still at 10 under. But I wouldn't get too jumpy here and thinking somebody else can come from the back. It's the front nine that these guys are really getting after here. So Scotty's kind of navigating the back a little bit right now. I would expect Scotty right now. He's still $1.75, $2 to win this tournament. I would expect him to kind of light it up a little bit later on as the day goes. So might not want to hop in today. Unlike yesterday when we gave that out, it was before he had ever teed off. So good on Derek for cashing that 12-1 ticket there. Let's get to our best bets that are presented by G-Bank, the official bank of VSiN. And you have some plays that are already in pocket for VSiN Pro subscribers out there, Jensen. Let's get to some of those here. And let's start with the night on ice because we talked about it with Jonathan Davis. And I thought JD made a great point too. You could actually play, as you did, the Blues on the puck line at a solid plus number, plus 225. If you wanted to play Winnipeg on the puck line, you could do so as well at plus money. And then as long as you get a 2-goal winner, you don't care who wins by 2 or more, you're going to get a small profit if you want to do it that way. But you're going to go with the home team here at that plus 225 mark.
Yeah, I locked in their puck line, St. Louis, there to send it to a Game 7. Right now, you're right, Winnipeg plus 245. So the arbitrage there, you're going to win at least 100 if you're looking to get that. And as you said, just need a 2-goal win either way. So love that. Also love the empty net angle too.
Yeah.
Plus $3 and upwards of $3.50 depending on which book you're at. Hey man, it's more a play on can Connor Hellebuck show up, and I don't think so. I think the Blues in that barn have had a lot of resistance. They'll find a way to get this done. And the way it's gone for me, Dave, I have to wait until the final seconds because that's the only way my puck lines are getting across. Thank you, Edmonton, yet again for another all-time sweat. But I do like the Blues to force Game 7 here in a couple of days.
We like to say that you can make good money on bad teams. I don't know if these are bad teams, though. The A's, all of a sudden, resurgent in their new home in Sacramento. And the Fighting Fish, a little bit of fight in them, Jensen. You think we might get some offense today?
I think we will. And again, for people just following, it'll be Gunnar Hoagland who's getting the call up, his major league debut. Number 2 prospect there for the Athletics. Valente Barroso is going to get the start there for Miami. I might even be able to catch this, at least the end of it when I land there for college baseball tomorrow. Shameless plug there. It is, I think, when you get youngsters coming up, and I know Noah Coleman for the Royals is the outlier because he took the no-hitter for the Royals against the Rays into the 6th. But I think you're right. Offensively, the Athletics are 7th in team average, Dave. 7th in home runs, too. Marlins ballpark, a little bit more spacious here, but I think we get offense on both sides.
Royals are red hot. Don't look now. All right, you can look. They're starting to gain a little bit of ground here if Cleveland would ever start losing some ball games. They're going to be going to Charm City to take on the Orioles. I don't know. Did the Orioles wake up in that series against the Yankees a little bit? Like, what do we make today? Michael Wacha on the bump for KC.
Yeah, more so a play against the battered and bruised Baltimore rotation. Say that 5 times fast. Dean Kramer gets the ball today. And actually, when you kind of look overall, yes, we know Bobby Witt Jr. has been phenomenal, but I think the Royals overall starting to trend in the right direction. Vinny Pasquantino, pretty solid last week. Michael Garcia also, but I do like the over 9 in this one. Right now, minus $1.20, you can see there at Circa. You're right. You talk about where, the Royals have been trying to make up some ground. The Tigers are the ones that have to lose at some point. They're the first American League team to 20 wins, but I do think both sides be able to get some offense. Michael Wacha has been very solid here for KC, and especially here in his last couple of turns through the rotation, been quite good. Him, Lugo, Lorenzen, those guys have been awesome. Big reason why Kansas City's starting to make some hay.
Let's go, KC. I played you for season win total over, so you're back over 500, 2 games above. Let's keep it rolling there. Guardians, they figure out ways to win. Maybe it was just the Win Twins. Now they're going to go north of the border, take on Chris Bassett. I love watching Chris Bassett pitch. Maybe he's not the best out there, but that dude will fight. Is he going to fight for your dollar today?
Northeast Ohio native. He loves pitching against Cleveland. Loves it. And so I love him. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., go ahead 3-run home run last night late against Justin Slayton. That gets the Blue Jays across the line against the Red Sox in their series finale. I think it continues. Listen, Logan Allen has been very good for the Guardians, but left-handers against a lot of righties in this lineup. It's going to be lit in the 6. I think the Blue Jays win by 2 or more, and they're able to get back to 500. Think about this, Dave. Blue Jays could come level at 16-16. They begin play today just 3 games back of the Yankees for the top spot in the East.
Who's managing there? Cito Gaston? What year is it?
Yeah.
What about in the playoffs today? You got to lean towards the Rockets maybe to put up a fight against the Warriors tonight.
I'm anxious to kind of see where this money goes, Dave. So right now, as you look at some of the betting splits here, I do feel that is the side at the moment. The handle is dead even, 50-50 right now. But 44% of the bets on the Rockets, 56% on the Warriors. So anxious to see kind of where that goes. Boatload of money on the over here. I'm not surprised. 206.5, 92% of the handle here. Early lean to the Rockets, but we'll reserve a little judgment here, see where the money goes later today.
And very quickly, tomorrow night, that all-important Game 7 in Denver. Slight lean to the home dog. They're dogs by 1 right now with Clippers on the road.
Yeah, fascinating here, right? Because 42% of the bets for the Stars, but 53% of the handle at plus $1.20. And hey, I'll take JD's advice any day of the week. Mr. DeBoer there, 8-0. Mr. Game 7. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. That's an early lean for me.
So it could be a rough one for the Colorado Avalanche. We'll find out if it's a rough one for the Denver Nuggets. A lot of things going on in that great state for some Game 7s there. If you've not gotten the G-Bank signature card, you got to get it today. Most credit cards treat sportsbook and gaming transactions as cash advances. That's even when you put your own money in the card. G-Bank treats those gaming transactions as purchases, so you're going to save up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees on gaming transactions right then and there. Also with G-Bank, you're going to earn 1% cashback rewards on all of your eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions and 2% cashback rewards on all eligible purchases. Apply now, VSiN.com/GBank. That's VSIN.com/GBank. Jensen, you're going on the road, my friend. What are you going to be doing this weekend?
Yeah, you guys can, I got NC State, Miami on ACC Network tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And, buddy, safe travels. I will hold it down for us while you get a well-deserved week of vacation.
You know, I'm coming home to Mom and Dad in Virginia Beach. We'll be watching you, Jensen. You know it, baby. We'll see you after a week, but Jensen's back here on Monday. A numbers game is up next.
When an online shopper places an order, how that package arrives matters. I'm Al Coe, the CEO of ShipStation. Our promise is to make that process as easy as possible for you. ShipStation provides a robust platform to manage everything you sell, automate manual shipping tasks, and get the lowest possible carrier rates. Keep your team and your customers happy. Go to ShipStation.com to sign up for your free trial. That's ShipStation.com.
Ryobi now makes floor-to-ceiling cleaning easier than ever with cordless cleaning tools, powered by 18-volt 1+ batteries. Whether it's a quick tidy-up or deep cleaning, our powerful and versatile tools make cleaning a breeze. Spend less time cleaning and more time enjoying your pristine home. And because one battery powers over 300 products, you have the power to do more. Visit RyobiTools.com to learn more. Sold exclusively at the Home Depot.